Thanks for tuning into the Epoch News. And before we get underway today, guys, please make sure to show your support by hitting that red button. In today's story, President Trump said on April 1 that the once-a-decade federal population census would be a waste of taxpayer dollars unless it features a citizenship question. The president made the remark on Twitter as the Supreme Court reviews whether or not the process Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross followed to reinstate the citizenship question violated the law. Can you believe that the radical left Democrats want to do our new and very important census report without the all-important citizenship question? Trump also said a report would be meaningless and a waste of the billions of dollars ridiculous that it costs to put together. The Constitution requires the government to conduct a census every 10 years. The results are then used to draw political boundaries, allocate political seats at the local, state and federal levels, and use $800 billion in taxpayer funds. The last time a census asked all American households the citizenship question was in 1950. However, the Census Bureau regularly includes citizenship questions on its other surveys. Supporters of adding the question argue that only American citizens should be counted to determine the allocation of seats in Congress. The question is quite important because an estimated 10 to 20 million illegal aliens now live in the United States. Meanwhile, illegal aliens are crossing the southwest border at levels not seen in a decade. Opponents of adding the question argue that people who have immigrated to the United States legally would be discouraged from answering the question. Ross announced the addition of the new question in March last year, saying that the Justice Department requested citizenship data in order to enforce the Voting Rights Act, which protects eligible voters from discrimination. Counting non-citizens, the Justice Department argued, would distort the appointment of congressional seats. The effect would dilute the voting power of African Americans and other minority citizens, which is the opposite to federal law. Debates on the topic are scheduled for April 23, with a decision expected by the end of June, shortly before the census forms go to print. District Judge Jesse Furman ruled in January that Ross broke federal laws by adding the citizenship question and used the Voting Rights Act as a pretext to add the question. Furman, who is an appointee of former President Barack Obama, stopped short of a finding that Ross intended to discriminate against immigrants. The decision came in a lawsuit brought by 18 states, 15 cities and a number of civil rights groups. In urging the Supreme Court to overturn Furman's ruling, Solicitor General Noel Francisco said Ross had discretion to add the citizenship question and that there was a long pedigree in the census for asking about citizenship or country of birth. He also said other democracies, including Australia, Canada, France, Germany, Indonesia, Ireland, Mexico, Spain and the United Kingdom ask about citizenship on their censuses. Another federal judge, Richard Seaborg in San Francisco on March 6, also declared the citizenship question illegal. And following that ruling, the Supreme Court said it will also decide whether Ross's actions violated the Constitution's enumeration clause, which sets out terms for counting people. The new citizenship question would ask, is this person a citizen of the United States? The response options would include several yes options with qualifiers to show where the person was born and whether he or she was naturalised. The last option states no, not a US citizen. And the President issued his message on April 1, which is also Census Day. That's all for today's story, guys. Make sure to leave your thoughts on the census topic below. And to keep updated with the Epoch News, make sure to click the red button. I'm Angela Anderson. Have a great night.